All right, welcome everyone to today's webinar, Amplify Your DMO Marketing Strategies with Bandwango. We'll talk a little bit about Bandwango today and then just the partnership between Bandwango and Simpleview. So before we get into that, just want to remind everyone that we'll be recording this, or we are recording this, I should say, and it'll be made available probably tomorrow. You'll receive an email if you registered for the webinar containing a link and link to the recording and a link to this PDF that you're seeing on the screen. And you'll also be able to find all of our webinars and this one on the client portal, of course. So log in there starting tomorrow and you'll find everything you need as well. If you have any questions, throw them down in the Q&A section below and we'll monitor as we go. Otherwise, we'll circle back to those questions at the end. And with that, I'll just hand things over to Luke Johnson.
Thanks, Jordan. Hey, everybody. I'm Luke Johnson, Director of CX Operations here at Simpleview, and I've got Aaron with me. Hi, Aaron.
Hello, everybody. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, we're both coming in from mountain towns. I work out of Boulder, Colorado. Aaron works out of the Salt Lake area. So, rolling into the holiday weekend here and excited to talk to you all about Bandwango, which I think a lot of you are probably already familiar with, right? We've got a great shared client list already, but our goals for this presentation will be to talk about Bandwango at its core and all the awesome things it can do, but then also talk about the new partnership with Simpleview and Bandwango that we announced at the summit in Houston recently, and talk about how if you work with one of us or both of us, there's a lot of cool new things that you can tap into, and there's even more to come down the road. I'm so excited to get into it. Aaron, you ready?
Yeah, absolutely. I am ready.
Okay, great. Well, tell us, what is Bandwango?
Yeah, and just to start out, again, my name is Erin Griss. I am the Director of Marketing here at Bandwango. I worked in the DMO space before I joined the Bandwango team. So I worked in Winter Park, Colorado at the Winter Park and Fraser Chamber, which acts as the DMO as well for that town. If you're not familiar with Winter Park, it is a very small town in the summer or the shoulder seasons, more known for their skiing, but puts on a lot of events. So worked in the space, know a bit about it, but excited to be on the Bandwango team and helping you all create digital experiences. So to start out, what is Bandwango? As Luke mentioned, if you haven't heard of us, you may have seen our funky name somewhere, whether that be at a conference or maybe you've seen some of our passports around. But we are the world's first destination experience engine. So we organize all things to do into free and paid digital experience passports. So our goal is to drive measurable traffic into the doors of local businesses, whether that be through gamified passes, savings passes, kind of do it all here at Bandwango, and we'll go more into what that looks like. But these passports integrate directly into your website, whether that's a Simpleview site or not. Wanted to make that Simpleview plug on this call, but we do integrate onto all different websites. And then the goal here, generate those leads and generate revenue for your organization. There's a few other things that you get as a perk for this, but major goal here is to generate those leads and revenue. So as I mentioned with that previous slide, we have a multitude of different pass options here. So savings passes, encouraging those people, whether they're visitors or locals, to go around, visit those local businesses and get exclusive deals and discounts. So there's also gamified trails. Gamified trails are sort of our bread and butter at Bandwango. These are what we see our most popular and most successful passes being. These incentivize users to check in and use discounts at those local businesses to receive exclusive prizes. That all happens within the digital passport. I didn't mention, but I should have, our digital passports are not apps. Those are mobile optimized websites. So it doesn't take up storage on your phone. It can be saved to your home screen on your phone to make it look like it's an app, but it is not taking up any storage, which is nice. Third, paid attractions passes and paid tasting passes. These are great to generate revenue. Also just including all of those attractions in your area in a budget-friendly way for those locals and visitors. Restaurant weeks and restaurant months, we also see these be extremely successful. So those passes that may not be a year-long or 2-year-long experience that you can take part in, but shortened periods of time, that highlight exclusive menus, anything like that for those restaurant weeks and months. And then we also do event ticketing and admissions, so event and festivals. We recently finished the Utah Arts Festival and Utah Pride this last month, some of our most successful events and most attendees that we've seen, and it went off without a hitch, thankfully. So anything that you guys need in regards to event and festival ticketing, we can do that as well.
I know that's one of your new offerings, Erin, and I know there's a lot of players in the event and festival game. So excited to see that you guys had a very successful launch. So
yep,
yeah, keep in mind on that as we keep going.
Perfect. So a lot of people say, why Bandwango? Why do we need these experience passports? First and foremost, drive more customers and send money to your local businesses. We know that those relationships with local businesses can be hard to keep up and keep communication going and making sure that they are seeing the value in your organization as well. So we have real live reporting that shows you this is how many customers I'm driving or our organization is driving through the doors of your business. This is why. Keep being a member with us, keep that communication going with us. Second, generating revenue for your organization. So whether that be through a paid attractions pass, a paid tasting pass, that event and festival ticketing, we can really help drive that, generate that revenue. And maybe you're not allowed to keep that revenue. We can also help give that money back to those local businesses. We have options for that as well. So growing your audience with newly acquired leads, you own 100% of the data that comes in from Bandwango. So when someone signs up for a passport, that's directly off of your website. They fill out a checkout form that includes their name, their email, their zip code, if they want to opt in from to communication from your organization. That all gets stored in our user-friendly dashboard that you can access at any time and use that information wherever you please. So GDPR friendly, and it is yours. So grow that audience and audience segment to what people are interested in. Maybe you have a craft beer pass. You now have an audience that is really especially loves your craft beer scene that you now have, and you can send specific emails to them, increase that engagement rate on those emails. And then quantify your economic impact. As I mentioned, those real life reports can show you where people are visiting from, when they're going to these local businesses, what the most popular days are. So making sure that you have those reports to share to your stakeholders to say, this is what our marketing campaigns are doing, and this is how much we're driving economic impact.
Yeah, and Erin, I know that's just always been one of the great white whales, right, of DMO world is, yep. Hey, we're driving awareness. We're getting people to stay at the hotels. We all love our hotel partners, right? But punching through and saying, hey, which restaurants are they going to? What attractions are they going to? That can be difficult. And Bandwango really helps with that, with true in-person. Hey, they were here. They were geo-fenced to check in. So more to come on that. But what a great added benefit to your service.
Yeah, we want to change those KPIs from only impressions to really driving those conversions and getting that data and showing it off. So one of the biggest questions we get is, how much work is this going to add to our team's plate? Our bandwidth is it's running so thin recently. We hear you, we know. So we're your back office. We build the passports. So our client services team helps you put your strategies into reality by building and configuring your product. We just need a few assets from you, your logo, some email headers. We can also help create those. So nothing too big to take on there, but we built that for you. And then we help you set this up for success. So client success team helps set the strategy, integrate it into your website, and then drive those conversions. So we have a marketing team here that helps you make sure that people are going to sign up for this pass, and it's in front of people in a place on your website that's going to drive those conversions and really make this successful. We heard the cats. So this is a huge part in this, is like, how do we get these businesses onto these passports, making sure the communication is clear with when these consumers come in with the passes? How do they know how to work the passes? Do we have to go in and tell all these employees how to work this? No, we have a team here that is dedicated to merchant onboarding, making sure those businesses have the understanding of the passport, making sure they're onboarded correctly with the discount that they want to give, and that the check-in runs smoothly, whether it is a GPS check-in, so you just go in and your phone location can just check you in automatically, or a PIN. So we are here to help with that communication with your local businesses. And then we also support it all. So we have a dedicated customer support team, and they are here to answer any questions that your consumers may have with these passes. Maybe they can't get that check-in to work. Maybe their pass is acting up. We are here to help with that. We don't want those questions going to you, and then you have to communicate with us. They can come directly to us. Perfect. And then what data can you get from these passports? So as I mentioned before, you own 100% of the data that comes in here. So our client success team helps set the strategy, integrate it to your website, and drive more conversions. This is the data that you want to collect. These are the people that you want to know are visiting your destination, that are interacting with those local businesses, and you want to make sure that they're having a good time while doing it, maybe winning a prize or two while doing that, or using those local discounts. So understand where your customers are going. So we track redemptions, check-ins on a local level, tell you who, when, and where. You can see a little snapshot of what these reports look like in our dashboard on the right. As I mentioned, user-friendly, you can log in wherever, whenever, and collect these data points at your disposal. Capturing that first-party data. So in those little parentheses, there's integration coming soon. I know that Luke will go over this in just a second, but as I mentioned on that checkout form, you can collect the names, email addresses, phone numbers, and zip codes for these consumers that are signing up for these passes. So super interesting to see. I know Indie Craft Pass is a really fun example of this, because when they first launched that Craft Pass, they were seeing how soon they could get all 50 states on that data. So how soon they could get a person from all 50 states to sign up for their passport and then check into those local businesses, which is pretty fun. And then growing your email marketing lists. So opt-ins enable you to continue the conversation. You can use those emails for specific campaigns that you send out at a later date. Maybe it's for a beer fest coming up, or maybe you have a gamified pass that's a craft beer pass that you want to turn into a paid tasting pass. You now have an audience that you know is interested in the beer in, let's say, Indie as an example, that you can then target those email campaigns, get them signed up, and purchase a paid pass at a later date. So increasing your engagement on those email campaigns, making sure you're sending people things that they're interested in and that they'll want to come back for.
Yeah, I love seeing, obviously a lot of locals signing up for the Indie Craft Pass here, but a lot of branching out, a couple in Colorado, Arizona, Utah. So I like to see that. And I just did want to add that, the integration coming soon part, we've already rolled out the listings sync, so that if somebody's got a Bandwango ID and they've got a Simpleview CRM ID, then we will work together to get all that data mapped out, so that check-ins and other important data are being fed from Bandwango to the member benefits summary in the Simpleview CRM. But then we're also working to further beef that up, as well as work on that consumer data list, right? Because just as important as, hey, this brewing company got a whole bunch of check-ins over the month of June. Now you can even say, assuming they've opted in, who were those actual people? What's their name, email address, and where do they live? Hopefully you don't go knock on their door, but hopefully you send them, a nice follow-up email or something that is related to what they've said they're interested in. If it's grabbing a beer, then that's one thing. Wine, outdoor adventures, whatever, that particular Bandwango pass is kind of indicating that they're interested in. Really great information there. And part of the partnership that we have with Bandwango is, hey, we wanted to start out with some good stuff to show you in terms of our CRM integration, but we got a lot more plans to come. So we'll cover that as we keep going.
I'll add that our partners find some super interesting data when they see those actual conversion points and people that are signing up for things and have those zip codes, things that you would have never known just from tracking impressions on a, let's say, blog post or something. So one thing I wanted to touch on, so as I mentioned, we have a dedicated marketing team here to make sure that these passports are successful. It is one thing to build the Bandwango pass. It's another to make sure that people are signing up for these passes and engaging with them. So Wanted to just touch on crafting the perfect landing page for these, and the Simpleview team is trained and we are working very closely to make sure that these Simpleview landing pages are the perfect landing pages and are driving these conversions. So elements and best practices for conversions. You'll see the product card is at the top right here. We recommend that being at the top of the page when someone visits that landing page, seeing that first. You don't want them to have to scroll to get to that. So we always say above the fold of the page. We know attention spans are not super long anymore, so we want to make sure that we're grasping that attention while we have it. A short description above, next to, or right below the product card, just explaining what this pass is, making sure that they know where they're visiting, what they're signing up for the pass, why they're really doing this campaign. And then we provide an how it works module. We always recommend that that goes below the product card. Super quick 3 steps that explains how you sign up, where it goes, you receive that text, and then go in, check in, and redeem at those local businesses. So we provide codes for the product card and the how it works. That we'll go over that in the partnership as well, but always recommend those 2 elements on the page. And then always including links to blogs, UGC, or anything applicable at the bottom of the page. So for, let's say, an outdoor sculpture trail, maybe you have a things to do blog or an itinerary for a lot of these different sculptures in your destination or these murals. Maybe you have an artist feature on one of the murals in town. This is really relevant content, and we see that people interact with those on these landing pages successfully, and capturing that attention of those people that are interested in this one thing, keeping them on your website, making sure they're exploring all the other things to do in your destination as well. So recommendations for crafting the perfect landing page for the conversions here.
Yeah, and I want to add, in the talks that we've had, Aaron, with your team, I've learned a lot, and the basics still apply, right? Which is, hey, in addition to crafting the perfect landing page, make sure that we're putting the pass page or pages in the right spots. If we can afford the space to put a call out for the currently active campaign pass that you're advertising directly in the top nav, let's do that, right? The Simpleview CMS is built to be very easily changeable. If you think, oh, I'm not sure if this goes under things to do or under restaurants or under some other item, put it under both. Put it under every place that people might go look for it, right? If they land on the homepage and it's not immediately apparent, that, hey, there's a pass here, then they might miss it. So let's put it into those homepage header carousels and different things like that. So all the usual marketing things you would imagine, but just let's all make sure we're working together to get as many page views on that page, which then hopefully leads to as many signups as possible.
Yeah, I would say that's like our top recommendation that comes forward there. If people aren't seeing the signups that they're hoping for on their website, what are your top performing landing pages? Can we add a call out on those top performing landing pages? Usually it's a things to do or what's happening in your destination this summer. So yes, it's important to link these on social directly, but how are people finding this passport on your website when they're just discovering your destination or landing on your homepage? So absolutely. I did just want to add this in as well. This is something that we go over in our marketing meeting when our partners first sign on with us. So really interesting consumer funnel here, because a lot of DMOs and destinations are so focused on getting impressions on these landing pages before they sign on with Bandwango. So this conversion focused marketing is kind of a different concept for a lot of our partners. We really focus on the bottom of the funnel conversions for these campaigns. So different marketing strategy than what you might be used to. So focus on converting audiences that are familiar with your brand and destination, niche groups, locals, family and friends, regular visitors. Is this a campaign that you want to just spray and pray to everyone? Maybe not. Like, this is something that is going to hit home with a lot of people that are really focused on your destination, know what's going on a little bit, and capturing that data from those people. So that marketing strategy, just to pivot from attracting audiences with inspirational ads and engaging content to focusing on those conversions. And then using pass holder data as a tool for future marketing campaigns and endeavors. Maybe you're seeing that your drive market is surprisingly high for one area. Focus on marketing to those people that you see this being really successful, and using that for future passes as well. So on the right, you'll see this consumer funnel that we've put together. So awareness is those website visitors, foot traffic in local businesses, word of mouth, moving to consideration. So those blogs, social media, newsletters, landing pages, events, conversion points. So this is where Bandwango lands, lead capture tools, newsletter opt-ins, passports and trails and contests, and then retargeting those audiences after you have that data. So after they've signed up for the Bandwango passport, how are you keeping them engaged with your content? Audience segmentation, mentioned this in the previous slides, ad optimization, and using that first-party data to target those specific audiences. So we want to make sure that we are creating that full circle, making sure that people are staying engaged with your destination.
Yeah, Aaron, and I love y'all's focus on the marketing side of this. You know, we had a presentation from your team to our customer success team, and they revealed that the first thing that they talk about with the client when they're onboarding with Bandwango, it's not about the tech or the platform or the data. It's about, hey, what does your destination have that's cool and exciting that you guys are excited about, that you're running a campaign about, or that every person that comes goes to that thing or tells you that they're excited to go to that thing, right? Start with the idea and the area of excitement, and then work Bandwango around that.
Yep.
And then hopefully all the conversions, all the data, all the good stuff we're looking for falls into place from there. So
yeah, absolutely.
And you pulled together some examples for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So some of these are some of our most successful passes, and these are all Simpleview clients. So this is where that layover is happening. So the Visit Indie Craft Pass, I've mentioned this on this call. It's your guide to exploring these proud local businesses. So Visit Indie is going to reward you with points for each visit that you make. Accumulate points and cash them in for rewards, including a sticker, t-shirt, koozie, and the infamous beer stein. So really, really cool rewards here coming from Visit Indie. So they've had over 9,000 all-time pass signups, 1,500 signups since the pass refresh in March. So this pass, we recommend that we always do a pass refresh, usually every year. Make sure that all the merchants are still in business, the hours are correct, they still want to be on the pass, they are seeing success as well. So making sure everyone's happy, helpful to have that year refresh. But biggest numbers here, over 23,000 check-ins at local breweries. So this is showing that economic impact. Visit Indie can go to their breweries and say, listen, we have driven this many people through the doors of your businesses. You can see the success that is coming from this. Helpful with those relationships as well. So 2,500 of those check-ins just since March this year. So really, really awesome numbers. And Visit Indie, I will give them a shout out because they use the audience segmentation. So they use those emails from the people that sign up for this, send them a monthly newsletter that includes their check-ins, what's going on with the beer world in Indy, any new breweries, all the news that's happening there. So seeing really great engagement from those monthly newsletters that they send out. So we use them as an example all the time.
Awesome. Yeah. And Eau Claire, kind of sticking in that neck of the woods.
Yes, Eau Claire Curd Crawl. This is one of the most creative passes that we've seen, and we've really seen Eau Claire run with this in their marketing strategies. They've created this super fun video for this as well. It is awesome. It's right on their landing page, so I encourage you to go and look at Eau Claire's Curd Crawl. I also love cheese curds, so this is one of my favorite passes for sure. But experience a piece of America's Dairyland in Eau Claire with the first ever oh so cheesy curd crawl. Show us how crazy for curds you are by checking in at the participating restaurants, ordering their cheese curds, and transcending into a whole new universe of cheese-filled goodness. The more check-ins you have, the more prizes that you win. So both of these examples are gamified passes, so you can see that. But over 2,500 all-time pass signups, and they've had 700 check-ins at local businesses just this year. So you think about how niche this is, cheese curds. I mean, in the Midwest, it's maybe not that niche, but I can't find a good cheese curd in Utah to save my life. So I wish I was in Eau Claire, but really great results from Eau Claire, and love the marketing strategies behind this as well.
Yeah, super unique. And I'm sure most places have that one food item that they're maybe most known for, right? So a similar pass or gamified situation could be set up there. So
yeah, absolutely.
And then, let's take it to your backyard.
Last but not least, Visit Salt Lake Connect Pass. This is either the first Bandwango Pass or one of the first Bandwango Passes to ever exist. So this has been with us from the beginning. The Connect Pass gets you into 18 of Northern Utah's most popular attractions, all at huge savings. Flexible, absolutely. So they're sold in 1 day, 2 day, 3 day increments, as well as a year-long option. You can design, plan your stay, whether you're here for a couple nights or a week, or planning on making a few trips to Utah's capital city this year. Maybe you live in Salt Lake. The Connect Pass is an awesome option. So they have had over $700,000 in all-time pass sales and nearly $160,000 in sales just this year. So very successful attractions pass, really generating revenue, driving people into those attractions. And it's a budget-friendly way to get those visitors and locals to visit those attractions that may not be on the forefront of people's minds when they visit Salt Lake. Usually it's the mountains. Maybe they're here to, it's the outdoor scene. So these attractions, it's great to drive people into those. So over 11,000 Connect Passes distributed all time. So
yeah, and Aaron, I think it's important you called out that sometimes, as funny as it sounds, making money is not one of the goals of a DMO, right?
Yep.
And in that case, that's fine. There's ways to take this money and redistribute it back into the business, right? So
Yep.
A lot of ideas there, and happy to have Bandwango or Simpleview, talk to you about those. But yeah, if you're interested in a pass that has a $ attached to it, doesn't need to be a taboo subject, right? There's a lot of good reasons to do that, whether it's for profit or to just, hey, have some additional marketing budget that you can then go spend elsewhere to either get more passes set up or drive something else, right? So
yeah, and I love that you called that out, because there are DMOs that are scared of the $sign. They maybe can't, they're not a for-profit organization, they can't have that money. We can distribute that. We handle all the money here at the Bandwango, so we don't have to send it back to you if you don't want it. We can send it back to those local businesses. We can use that for marketing in a way. We can figure out what to do with that money if you are not wanting it on your sheet. So just let us know if you're interested. But here are some numbers for you just to see what Bandwango is doing. So we have over 430 clients right now signed up and creating passports. I believe that our Simpleview Bandwango layup is that there's over 100 that have both. So definitely a lot of connection there. So we have 19 state tourism offices, over 30,000 local businesses onboarded. We have tracked over 2.5 million redemptions and check-ins from these passports, over 300,000 email marketing opt-ins, and the great big amazing number is over $10 million payout that have been paid out to local businesses through those paid passports. So we're very excited about these numbers. While DMOs and destinations are our bread and butter of our clients, we are also including a lot of other organizations right now as well, chambers, downtown associations. We have a few beef councils, which is a fun use case for us, but mostly DMOs. So
awesome. Yeah, an impressive roll up there. So yeah, thanks Aaron for all the info, and please tag in here as we kind of round out the presentation with the partnership. The first thing that we're rolling out is the CRM integration. So this is going to include establishing an API connection so that Bandwango and Simpleview can share data both back and forth, so that when there are those check-ins and those clicks, that again, like Aaron said, it's not an app, it's just a web page, right? And you're motivated to go to that through different emails and different things like that. And you can, of course, set up your phone so that a web page icon can be built onto your homepage, right? So it's all built to be like an app, but just, doesn't have to go through all the mumbo jumbo of getting things approved and things like that. But again, people are using the pass, they're checking in, they're viewing listings, we're tracking all that stuff back to CRM and vice versa, right? If there's a certain piece of information that might make sense to call out and make sure that the CRM and the Bandwango data are in check, we've got the option to talk those through. But we know that tracking your benefits summary, users that have the CRM extranet are going to log in and look at their own business and be able to see, hey, there's new listing views, there's new check-ins, there's new pass redemptions that are coming through, and they can see all of that right there in their member benefits summary or in the extranet. We're also working to continue to beef this up to make sure that individual and unique listings within the CRM, right? If you've got a different meeting listing versus the leisure listing or whatever it is, we want to make sure we're tying those IDs back and forth. Similarly, if there's a certain business that is participating in more than one Bandwango pass at a time, we want to make sure that those unique check-ins are being called out. So we're continuing to work on that and make sure that the CRM integration is as detailed as possible. And then the next big item on our horizon that we're excited about is the consumer data sharing, right? So if a client has opted in for emails and participation, an end user, a visitor, a local, if they've opted in, we want that data to be able to sync between Bandwango's consumer area and the Simpleview CRM consumer area. And then, of course, if you guys have Acton or our marketing platform, to then be able to use that, right? Look at the different segments. Aaron called out Visit Indie, who's already used that, it sounds like, in a lot of really good occasions to say, hey, we've got this particular segment of data. We know what they like based on what passes they signed up for, what places they've checked into. We're going to prepare a really cool campaign to target just those users and make the most of that. So excited to have this partnership in place and then to continue to grow it. You know, both Bandwango and Simpleview are SaaS platform based, so there's new features coming out all the time, and our integration will continue to grow, you know, as those come available. And then the website integration, obviously Bandwango's been around for a long time before there was this integration, and Aaron called out installing this, the product card on any web page is very easy. It's a lot like a YouTube embed. You get a little snippet of code to put on the page, but we are working towards having a dedicated CMS widget in the Simpleview CMS, so that if you're on a page and you want to drop the Bandwango widget and all of the accompanying, you know, here's how Bandwango works content, there'll be a drop down there for you to just choose from and drop it on the page. So no copying and pasting of HTML code and all that good stuff. But also, if you don't happen to have the Simpleview CMS, if you've got Bandwango and you've got the Simpleview CRM, a lot of good reasons to talk to us about getting that integration set up. Or if you don't yet have Bandwango and this has caught your interest, let's get you in touch with the Bandwango team and let's talk about that from there so that you can start activating that integration and have Bandwango and CRM talking to each other. So we're excited about that. We want you to keep your customer success team in the loop, right? If you've got our SEO, our CRO engagement, we want to talk about optimizing your current or future Bandwango page. Aaron already talked about all the really good best practices, but we would love to talk to you about our SEO, talk to you with our SEO team, our professional services team, to talk to you about potentially analyzing the individual interactions on those Bandwango past pages, tying some of your paid media to the Bandwango pages, tying that paid media back to the actual check-ins at those participating listings, right? And if you've got CRO, conversion rate optimization, the Bandwango page is probably a great place to maybe do some A/B testing on the different elements and calls to action on that page. Dynamic content on the Bandwango page could be built around geolocation or other factors like that. Aaron called out maybe the drive market is the one that gets the most usage out of a particular pass. We can set up the Bandwango page to identify, hey, this person, based on their IP address and their geolocation, is coming to us from your drive market. We're going to show them a particularly conversion heavy set of content, right? So it's going to optimize the chance of them signing up for that pass and going from there. We also talked about UGC, social media, CrowdRiff, another one of our partners. If you have CrowdRiff or if you've got your own social media that you stay on top of, let's make sure we're incorporating that with the different passes and so on. And then there's even additional widgets. You know, our storyteller widget is a really nice full page scrolling, engaging page template that we have in the Simpleview CMS. Let's maybe talk about setting that up as part of a way to encourage people to know what passes are out there, increase their conversions, and so on. So if that was all too long and you didn't listen, the bottom line is reach out to your Simpleview CSM. If anything about today's presentation caught your attention, whether it's the Bandwango side, the integration side, hopefully both. But yeah, that rounds it out for the stuff we wanted to show you. Let's dive into the Q&A section and see if we can answer anything there. Andrea, hi Andrea, Andrea from Grand Rapids. one of my clients back when I was an account manager. With the opt-in connection between Bandwango and Simpleview CRM, will it create a new consumer contact if the email isn't found within CRM? The answer is no. We don't have it set up yet, but our goal obviously is to make sure that the point of the sync is to make sure that we're not creating duplicate contacts, that we are making the most of, hey, there's a bunch of data over here. Email address tends to be a very unique way to identify somebody. And so if they've got one email address in Bandwango and that same email address exists in your consumer database, then we want to find a way to add on that data, make sure that there's a unique contact source or whatever element makes the most sense to keep a one-to-one relationship between that individual person, that individual contact, but know more about them. So yeah, great question. Robin asks, has the integration of Bandwango and Simpleview CRM already happened automatically, or do we need to go ahead and make that happen as a DMO? So yeah, the platforms are both ready to make that happen, but there is a work order that we want you to work with your customer success manager here at Simpleview to get that all tied in. It comes with a relatively low annual fee that we think will help make sure that if new features come out from Bandwango, vice versa, we want to make sure that that API sync is all set up. So yeah, the data and the platform are ready to go. And if you've already got Bandwango and you've already got Simpleview CRM, then just reach out to your team and we'll get things set up for you. Thanks for the question. All right, and we'll give it just another couple seconds here before I call it a day, but I think that's going to do it. Erin, thanks so much for joining us. Jordan, thanks for running things. Anything I missed?
We are so excited about this partnership, and I think just reiterating the fact that this is ever evolving. So we are always looking to improve this partnership as well. So making sure that if you're a client of Bandwango, letting your client success specialist here know, and also your client success at Simpleview, what you would find helpful as well, because that helps us evolve. So we're so excited. And if you have any questions about Bandwango, feel free to reach me. It's just Erin@bandwango.com. So I'm available whenever and happy to answer any questions as well.
Awesome. Jordan, how are we looking?
Looking good. No other questions. And yeah, if you happen to join late and miss my little spiel at the beginning, this will be available later on as a recording, as well as the deck. So don't worry that you're missing anything. You can always get that stuff later. But yeah, if there's no other questions, I think we'll wrap things up, and hopefully everyone has a wonderful 4th of July weekend. Stay safe.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Erin.
Bye.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.